Hey guys, it's Tuesday and I'm in Portland. I will say one thing about Portland, go to it. Okay, so this week we're talking about our childhood, and to be honest, my childhood was fantastic. It was ideal. I have really wonderful parents and a really just solid family. If I think about influence and how I was influenced by the things that happened to me during my childhood, if I think how they've affected the person who I became, there are a couple factors. One is, when you're little and you move from California to like a small European country, where you're you're always going to be the American girl. You're not going to fit in with the Greek girls because you're not going to immediately know the language. You're not going to share the same culture. And so you're kind of going to be an outsider for a long time. So I know the feeling of not completely fitting in, not like being the black sheep. I know that feeling. Also, I was always a fat girl, but if I think back, I never got shit for it. Like, I was actually another reason why I'm really, really lucky growing up. I don't remember a single case where I was made fun of for being the fat kid in class. Not once, which was great. Maybe it's because I went to schools that had smaller student bodies. So I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe it was the way I carried myself. Because I've kind of always been I'm not going to take anyone's bullshit kind of a person. But also, I was kind of a bitch. So maybe that's why no one ever gave me shit for being the fat girl. Also, my little brother is autistic. He is low functioning. He's, gosh, almost 17 now. But and he's wonderful. But growing up with a brother who's special needs, that is actually very challenging. It's something that isn't typical. And I think when you're little, you would just love to be typical. And that was always, like, having a brother with special needs was always something that kind of made me feel very, very different, and not in a good way. But, fast forwarding to 10 years later, where I'm a young adult, all these things, all these factors that kind of were reasons that were things that made me feel uncomfortable, like I didn't fit, like a misfit, that only makes me kind of a more interesting, more experienced, more compassionate person now. But I feel like people who go through certain challenges, or people who have to overcome certain obstacles, or just people who are different and don't fit in, these black sheep, I relate to them. If, like, for whatever reason, if it's any type of handicap, any type of disability that is not, quote unquote normal, sexuality that isn't quote unquote normal, skin color that is puts you in a minority. I feel like I relate to these people because of this background. I will always have respect for the alternative. I will always have an admiration for people who don't necessarily fit the term normal. One thing I know for sure is that there is nothing worse than being ordinary. Celebrate what makes you unique. No one else that has ever been or will ever be has had your experiences or has your story. So, God, run with it. Anything that has ever happened to you in your life that you might look at as negative, that is you gaining experience. That is you opening up your perspective. There's a twist to everything. Food for thought.